I'm Kamerie Gibson. Welcome to the Kamerie Gibson Show, the podcast. I believe that one of the most precious gifts you can share with someone is your story. Pain has purpose and stories can change lives. Your journey to become more inspired and transformed by the lives of those around us starts now. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kamerie Gibson Show, where we talk about transforming our pain into power. And today I have a special guest with me here today. Her name is Erica King. Miss Erica King, would you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience for me, please?
How y'all doing? My name is Erica King. Been an entrepreneur all my life, hairstylist, and I'm pursuing a fashion career and that's me.
Okay, for sure. Okay, so Erica, what type of fashion would you say you work in? Is it like urban fashion, more high end, or what does your fashion look like?
It's definitely open. Anything I'm tapped into is because it is a purpose behind it. But I mean, I don't see or I have not seen. I want to see our black people in our line for our instead of Gucci like. That I want to be that. I want to be, I was walking in a gallery and I seen the line and I'm looking at our black people just lined up for some, Gucci. And I want to be that. And as far as it provide a nice clothing attire for men, female, kid, a whole family line. But we can be GQ, like start to pour back into each other.
Yeah. But what about that Gucci line bothered you?
Say that again.
What about that Gucci line bothered you?
Our people standing there, how we support them, how they don't support us, it's just that thing. I just feel like I want to start to create, a circle for us, high end, like let's give our money back to our people so our people can put it back into our community, to our kids, to things that matter for us, because only we understand each other. So it's definitely a black powerful line that I just want to, cancel out the rest of the line. As far as then, I want to see our black people lined up for our black people.
I love that. And what do you think might be some challenges when it comes to getting black people off of Gucci onto black-owned fashion?
Let's just say the influence. The influence. I definitely think it started with influential people. The celebrities, the basketball players, and forth on. I definitely think it starts there. And for some reason, that's what our kids look at. That's what they want to seem to have for no reason, just because that's what they already see. So, I mean, it's a follow the leader type world, and I really kind of hate that, but I just feel like we gonna do some following the leaders. Like, we need to recognize that we were and we are the leaders, so let's lead and let's not follow what's what's not for us, what's not made for us, so.
No, I love that, Erica. And I think somebody has to infiltrate in that industry and not just conform to what people want us to do and want us to wear. And like you said, these European labels don't care about us. The Balenciaga ad, I didn't see it myself, but I heard it was pretty racist. I don't know if you heard about that as well. I didn't watch it.
Again?
The Balenciaga ad.
Oh yeah, I definitely been seeing that. And as far as and even the child, like it just go real deep as far as even using the kids' sexuality. Like that's just again because they know it starts with our kids. So I just think we need to tap on to that, and I think we need to. I mean, we just gonna have to counsel them out. Like I don't understand why. I just don't understand why. But again, it's not for me to understand why. I want to do my part in the world. I want to be that black line, and I'm going to give back to our people and do for our people. So yeah, it's definitely a purpose behind that.
Yes, and you said you've been an entrepreneur all your life. So how did you become an entrepreneur? Because everybody's trying to be an entrepreneur now. Everybody wants to leave their 9 to 5. So you said you've been doing this. So what was that? What's this journey been like for you?
Girl, first of all, my dad, rest in peace. He raised me, and he always raised me to be an entrepreneur. Like I've been doing hair, and I started doing hair because, growing up, I ain't really have hair. So, my mom, wasn't really around with my hair. So I'm just a figured out person, so that's how I started tapping into, doing hair. But my daddy seen that in me. So even growing up, I started charging, doing hair when I was in high school. Charging $10 a head doing the corn. That's when the cornrows was out. So he always knew that's what I wanted to do. I mean, I couldn't do hair on Sundays, and he was strict about that. So I didn't want to do hair. But after I graduated, I asked him, like, why? Why did you? I wanted to do fashion design, and I remember him telling me, no, I can't do this class. So when it came time for me to try out for cosmetology, I purposely bombed it because I remember him, yeah, purposely. So, and I mean, but I wish I would have had those conversations with him because, after I graduated, I asked him, like, I heard you saying that I couldn't get in that class. Like, why did you say that? And he was like, it's not that I doubt you. It just takes a while to break out in the fashion industry. And he was like, someone is always going to need their hair done, and you good at what you do. And he was like, so you can do hair, and start, investing in that, and then always do fashion design. And I was like, you know what? It makes a lot of sense. Like, I wish I would have had them conversations with him, before, because yeah, I definitely yeah. So he just always raised me that way. Even sometimes when it would get slow in the hair, and I was like, Daddy, I'm ready to quit. I'm gonna go to another job. And he's like, Erica, you're not gonna be able to work another job. And I was like, no, because I can't do it. And I mean, that's just what he instilled in me. I probably don't know how to work a regular job, but it's always been that entrepreneur, like, go out and get it. Like, he knew I had a gift, and he allowed me to pour into my gift. He allowed me to be who I am and become, who I am, even when I didn't understand who I was going to be. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he did that.
I love that because we need more of our families to push entrepreneurship onto our kids and not just go to
Mm-hmm.
college, just to work with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Finding out now, like I'm over here pursuing entrepreneurship, but I didn't wasted I maybe wasted, but I spent 6 years in college just to come to this realization that I want to work for myself because that's the way to build wealth.
Mm-hmm.
That's attached to financial, internal, spiritual freedom. So I'm glad you had that with your dad. So would you say that you were a daddy's girl?
I mean, I ain't play about my daddy. I still don't play about my daddy. But like I said, my daddy raised me hard. He was tough on me, very tough. When I would do hair, me and my sister, we share rooms. When I would do hair, like, he would make me get half of the money to my sister. And I never understood that. I just bumped my prices up later. But again, after I got older, I asked him, like, why did you make me do that? He was like, well, because you had all those people in her room. My sister was like a nerd. She'll be over there in her books. And I was like, that makes sense. So he like, kind of, as far as in values and morals, he did it in like, instead of talking to me and telling me, he kind of just raised me or molded me to make sure that growing up, like, I was going to become, not a selfish person, not an inconsiderate person, like, so yeah.
I
Mm.
love that. I didn't even think about that. Like he really made you like this person that you are.
He
Like that's
really
crazy.
did. Yeah, he did. He did.
What was your relationship with your father?
My daddy was like, he was very quiet. Very, very quiet. I rarely seen him get angry. Like, rarely. I know, like, when he would get angry at me, I'd be like, it was rarely, but when he would get mad, my thoughts was like, why are you getting mad? Like, I'm the one who got in trouble at school. Like, so I didn't understand, he, again, I mean, he allowed me to be who I was. He definitely allowed me to be who I was. I
Yeah.
found out a lot when I got older. I even asked him in the house because I felt like it. I knew it was unfair. So I asked him. I was like, "Well, Daddy, like, you knew it was unfair. Like, why did you raise me? Because I was raised with my stepmom and my stepsister." And he was like, "Well, Erica, you have to understand, like, that's her kid, you know. So, but you are my kids. I know how I want my kids to grow up to be. I want to know what I want them to become. So it might have seemed unfair, but again, like, I was just trying to. I'm getting you ready for life. Like,
Wow.
I know how I want you to be and I want you to be ready for life. So even now, I see my mentality, the way I think. I see other people and I see how they do other stuff, and I'm like, and they don't get it sometimes, and because I wasn't raised just easily, because I was raised couldn't give excuses either. If I got in trouble at school, ass getting whooped. That's just period. Like, he didn't ask what you do. It was none of that. So that taught me not to give excuses. Like, so again, at the time I didn't understand it because sometimes a teacher will be wrong, but he wasn't trying to hear that. But it taught me not to give excuses. So a lot of what he did taught me, as far as he got me ready to navigate life. He got me ready to not be the follower, but step out and be a leader. And so if I were, and when I say a leader, as far as, and I want people just to get on the same bandwagon, as far as we need to come together. It's us. It's us. Yeah. So,
He sounded like a real man, to be honest. He
yeah,
sounded
girl, he was. He was.
Yep. Yep. I'm so glad we have men like that and daddies that we're molding our daughters to be these strong, women because our parents are gonna leave us one day. And he knew you by yourself, He knew what against when it came to your mother. He understood that, He saw beyond what you could see as a young girl. So I'm so glad you had that. And I could see it. You literally moved to Atlanta on your own,
Girl,
So
yeah. I
how do
just
you?
after the pandemic, I was like, if I look at the resume over my life, it wasn't too much on now. It's like fear was really stopping me from moving forward with a lot of stuff that I was just keeping up here. So yeah, it's now or never to me. It's get out there and try it. I move by faith. That's what that is. So
That's all that is. That's all you need.
mhm.
So let's get into where are you from? Where is Erica from?
I'm from Houston, Texas. Born and raised. Definitely from the hood. And I say that because I never want to forget where I came from. Like, the hood is what have my hustle mentality, have my hustle rolling. So, I'm definitely, still a hood girl, but not only that, I'm just open to life. Like, I'm just open to explore new life. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
What was he?
Atlanta, then New York, then
Yep.
retirement after that. So that's my plan.
I love it. Okay.
Yes.
Well, for those of us who, I went to school in Houston, Texas Southern University. What is Houston like? What part of Houston are you from? And what was it like where you grew up at?
Whew. Well, I grew up at. As far as in the hood again, I had the same fifth grade teacher my daddy had. So when I got in trouble at school, it was no calling your daddy. We went to the next room, bend over, ass whoop with a paddle. So it was kind of more like a more intimate raising. Like it wasn't your typical raising. So I stayed with my mom. As far when my mom was in and out of jail, but between like first grade to fourth grade, because my mom wasn't around, again, it was just in that hood mentality. Didn't really have to go to school. I think for that TOS test, girl, our teacher gave us all the answers. So by the time I did get with my dad, he started raising me. And we was more in a suburban type area. Girl, they was trying to put me in AP classes because of the TOS. I'm like, no, put me in regular. So that was a major adjustment for me. I was always getting in trouble. I went from not being disciplined to like being disciplined or not being able to say stuff. So that was like definitely a adjustment for me. So, but yeah, so from there on, you just kind of mold your way through life. Again, you learn what's best for you to do and what's not to do. Best atmosphere. But I am glad that my daddy did pull me out the hood because I was able to see another part of life. 'Cause to me in my head, it was only hood life. Like I haven't seen so many people so polished when I came, to Spring versus to being in Homestead. Like, so yeah.
Okay, so Spring and Homestead. So what's Homestead for those of us who are from Houston? What is Homestead like?
Uh, Homestead now it's kind of more a little vacant. Of course, you still have like the grandparents that probably stay there, and yeah, it's just more tore down. Not too much going on. Not much to see. If you want to go to a Walmart, you don't have the Walmarts, the Chick-fil-A's. You don't have that over there. Like so, it's kind of a little rundown, but yeah, yeah.
Okay. And your mother's from where?
My mother's, I think they from Homestead area. I know they was in the country for a minute, but I think they was in Homestead area. So even when my dad got with my mom, he moved her from the hood too. So, even he tried to show, that
Mm,
different part of life. Yeah.
that's crazy. We have the same like experience. My mother, she's from Mexico, so but a little bit more hood, a little bit more
Hmm.
like but my dad was from the hood too, but more structured, disciplined.
Hmm.
So we definitely share that. So what was your mother's story then?
Hmm. I'm still waiting on her to tell me her story, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I am
Wow.
like, me and my mom don't have we don't have a good relationship. We don't really have one, but I still have hope that we can form that bond. But I know that my mom's a good person,
Of course.
sober. I know she's a great person, and I do want to be able to grow a bond with that person. So even her story, I don't even think that's something she ready to open up to. So
Mhm.
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. So what was the difference? So what age were you when before you moved with your dad?
I
Your
think I
dad.
got with my dad when I was 9. See, my mom and my dad was together because I remember the family life, me, my mom, and my daddy. I remember that. But again, my mom was kind of still going back to the streets. I even remember the last argument they had because my mom would have me out late with her in the streets, and I remember the last argument they had. So, and after that, I think my dad just kind of stopped coming around because we had the house life, we had the nice life, and then after that, yeah, it's very blurry as far as in the times with my mom because I don't remember seeing her. So it's kind of like we was raising ourselves, as far as in me, my brother, and my little brother. I can't remember where she was at a lot of the times, but yeah. So I got with my dad. I had to be 9 because I remember celebrating my 10th birthday with them. So yeah, so it was
Yeah.
just
You
meant
said
to.
y'all were raising yourselves. What does that mean? Like, what did that look like? What did that feel like? Raising yourself.
Girl, like, I mean, I just remember I remember one day, and my brother's like 5 years younger than me, but I remember one day, and we used to walk to the school, and I remember one day asking, I went in there to wake my little brother up, like, get up, like, we got to get ready to go to school. And I heard my mama scream from her room, like, leave him alone. He ain't got to go to school if he don't want to. I was like, shit, we ain't going either. So it was like, it don't have to go to school. I remember being in Walgreens, several stores. My mom used to we used to steal our own Christmas gifts. Yeah, I remember that. I remember me falling asleep. Like one day, I think elementary was over, and I was still sleeping, a little bean bag. And I remember the teachers kind of talking about it a little bit. I remember that when we do, my mom knew other people in the neighborhood. So sometimes we would go by there and eat or we would spend time with them. But yeah, no, I can't really remember, at that time where she would be at.
Hmm.
So that was like more so raising yourself. So once they closed that community down, we end up moving um to the hood. Like we end up like moving kind of it's these apartments called the hoes. Like they their own little ghetto environment. But then I really didn't see my mom much. So yeah, it's very blurry. It's a very yeah. So
Do you and your brother talk about those times now, or y'all kind of like leave it?
um um we don't. We don't. Me and my brother don't too much have like a relationship. Like so no, we don't. We probably have before, but if it is it something that we just talk no. Yeah.
Mm,
I more so tap into this conversation, because when you do hair, and I can say that I have learned a lot from my clients, because you gain other people's perspective, you get to hear them out. So when I say like I gain so much perspective just from them, like, but I would have more so have these conversations because you hear people complain about their mom and stuff like that, and are complaining then I just tap into the conversation, and to me, I'm very transparent. I feel like I'm at where I'm at because of where I came from. So, yeah, so I will always kind of tell them, like, look, you know, it can be worse, you know, and not saying that because again, the story of my life, and again, I don't want to I don't want to keep repeating the same steps, you know,
Uh,
on that side of the family. I don't want to do that. So if that means I have to be that person to step out, then that's just what I don't have to do. And you know,
mhm.
especially when you start raising a kid, you definitely don't want, because it really follows. Like I don't think we recognize, because I see some of my mom ways in me, you know, and I
Wow.
get mad because I see the ways, but it just makes you kind of realize like she do have feelings, you know.
Yep.
And, I just wish that I understood them more. And but
Yep.
the only way I can understand that is she's opened up to me. So that's something I
Mhm.
can't force, you know. So,
Mhm.
but yeah.
What would you say as a little girl you struggled with the most? Going from that environment to your dad's environment. Where was the struggles? What were the
Mm,
struggles happening for Erica?
mm. uh, I went from, I tell people, for example, like with my mom, I had this cousin. She would always come over. And she was always about that drama. So she would come, you know, to my house and start fights with my friend physically, you know. And we was taught like, um, you better jump your cousin, like, because I remember getting in trouble because she came over there, fought my friend, and you know, so I don't have to fight my friend. I'm like, damn. Then when she leave, you know, that's what I was taught on my mom's side. Then I come over here to my dad's side, you know. So and like to me, you know, this was my stepsister, and I'm a protective person of the ones I love. So my stepsister, she was a little nerd. So when it came down to stuff, like I'm popping off, like you know, and I'm getting in trouble for that. Like so, it was definitely a whole different transition. It was like really doing a 180. It was going from making it seem like doing everything was bad, stealing, you know, fighting, like you know, doing everything bad versus to, you know, hey, you gotta straighten up. You gotta, you know, and yeah. So it's definitely a struggle, but
Yeah. Yeah. What was high school like for Erica?
high
You know?
school. Uh, high school was cool. It was cool. High school was cool. I don't think I have too many complaints about high school. It was middle school I didn't like, but high school was pretty cool. Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
I,
was pretty easy going. What were your dreams like growing up? Did you have any dreams of leaving
I
you?
yeah, I mean to always be a fashion designer, my own clothes, always be a fashion designer. I think I knew I found myself filling out college applications, but like my dad or my step, they wasn't pressuring me. Like they would, you know, I know they was on my stepsister about hers, but they wasn't pressuring me, you know, especially my dad. And I found myself filling out college applications. Then I got to thinking like, I'm finna go to college, you know, I'm finna turn up, you know, because my dad was so strict, you know, as far as in what I was coming from. So mentally, I already knew what I was about to go to college to do. It was just gonna be an umbrella for me going out there, just turning up, exploring, you know, whoop de whoop. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So, and again, I was still always doing hair in high school. And I worked at a daycare. So I just never did that, you know. I think a year after high school, I ended up enrolling in beauty school. You know, again, I just did that to say I was doing something, not, you know, not thinking that was gonna be my career path. I'm like, you know what, I didn't sit up and I didn't club every day of the week, you know. I didn't, you know, so it's time to settle down. Let me go do something, you know. So, so yeah, so I had a friend who was like, come on, let's go enroll. And so we end up enrolling, and yeah, yeah, I was still club hopping, just sleeping them hours away, but I got them though. Yeah. Yeah.
And okay, so I know Erica is a mother, I
Mhm.
want you can say her name,
Sweetie.
sweetie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, so smart. I mean, I know she loves her mom. Was
Mm-hmm.
motherhood always a part of your plan? Was it always a part of your vision?
Motherhood was, I don't think I ever had a vision. Like my vision, to be honest, like, you know, you hear some people say they want to grow up and they want the married life and all of that. I was always the person, I just wanted to grow up to be successful. Like that's
Wow.
was always, you know, just my thought. And just even thinking about just e- just even thinking about motherhood, I just really kind of seen myself, okay, well, I won't be rich, I don't have one kid, whoop de whoop. So yeah, that's what it was. But as far as a sweetie, that was definitely my blessing. That was definitely my life turnaround. That was my purpose, She just opened again the main part that opened me up for just so much opportunity, make you just want more. So yeah,
Mhm.
she came by surprise, but yeah, that's that was my turning point.
I know, I feel it, and I feel the same way. I didn't grow up wanting to be a wife or be a mother. I was like, I'm gonna be a boss,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get to the hood. I'm gonna do something with my life, like,
Mm-hmm.
So I completely resonate with that.
So
And
do y'all think
so
you want no kids?
I want kids now. When I really like a guy, I feel myself wanting kids. Like when I really like
Mm-hmm.
feel like, oh yes, he could take care of me. I love him, or
Mm-hmm.
I feel myself wanted to. But I think I think the fear of being poor, the fear of being like cheated on or being left with my kids, being a single mom, it really just overpowered my dream of being a mom. So I think some of that is just trauma. My parents were
Yeah,
together. My
because this is
mother.
what I feel. I feel like because even because I mean, Sweetie is not biologically mine. You know,
Mhm.
I started raising Sweetie when she was like a month old. I was told, hey, we just need you to raise her. Whoop de whoop. I thought it was gonna be a short amount of time. So 6 months later, I was granted full custody. So this not like no nine. It wasn't a 9 month thing that I can plan, but it was kind of like, okay, God, you gave me her for a reason. Like you don't make me feel like I was still out here in the club, So I didn't understand, like, But like I said, that was my turning point. I started seeing more of who I was and the things that I need to work on. And you start to do that because you become an example for them, and they start to look up to you. But I feel that like some people like you, but strong minded people should should be open to raising another somebody like you with a strong mind instead of letting society raise them. So that's why I think some people calling is their motherhood, because they just make gonna make sure and instill in them what they need. They not having kids just to have them. But I even had to learn myself, like had to stop raising Sweetie like I wanted her to be, like things, and I had to see who she was. And
Mhm.
and getting to know who she was, it's not what I wanted. Like she don't let me dress up no more. She don't like to go nowhere. My child is a homebody. Like she just, I'm like, why I can't do her hair no more? Like why like just nothing. Like so, but I'm getting a glimpse of who my child is. And I think that we need that for our kids to, we was young, we couldn't even talk back. We couldn't, we get our ass whooping. We better not make a face. Why you crying? Shit,
Yep.
what do you mean? Like, so we wasn't allowed to express ourselves. We wasn't allowed, because I think if we were, it would be a lot more leaders and a lot more strong minded people, who can start their own zone instead of following, everybody else's. So
Man, thank you for sharing that, because I always felt like I'm too broken, or I didn't even have my mom. What I know about being a mama? So thank you for saying that.
girl, trust me, because you already have it here. You already have it here. It's just it comes because I was like, okay, God, I know what you're doing. Okay, So yeah, I'm telling you, that girl was my turning point. That's, I call it now, my best blessing. So yeah,
Yeah, I love that. And I can see it when I'm around y'all. I could feel it. What would you say your experience like with men and dating has been like?
girl, girl. It's this how I feel. I just feel like I've dated, I've talked to guys, but I feel like that part of my life again is not a priority for me. It's especially like I'm not with being with anybody just to be with somebody. Like if I'm gonna have to wake up and I'm gonna have to choose to make you happy along with my child, myself, and my career, then like that's taking something out of me. So a lot of people don't want to, they want it, but they don't want to give. A lot of people tend to want to be in relationships for the wrong reasons. Girl and I already had two people ask me to move in with them since I've been here. And I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, or
What do you
they ready to. And I'm like, and I don't get it. And I'm like, I talk to guys, but they won't ask you questions. You know, if they, they won't ask you questions about yourself. I mean, we talking about basic questions. Like I'd be lucky if they ask if I have kids. So it's just like it's just the yeah the yeah that yeah they yeah that's a yeah. God gonna have to
Yeah.
put my man on my doorstep for me. I'm not open to because I know what I can give and I'm ready to give in love, but I'm not desperate to give in love. Like it's gonna be to the right person. So shit, if I find him when I'm 99 and die when I'm 100, then that's just what it's gonna be. Like so. Yeah.
Huh?
So I still kick it. I do stuff like that, but as far as expectations, I have no expectations from men. None,
Yeah.
girl.
What got you to this point though? What lessons have men taught you dating men?
Girl. A
Yeah.
few. I mean, I haven't even had many relationships. I had 4 relationships in my life. I take
Okay.
relationships serious, and that's whether that's a friendship, a business ship. Like I take that serious. And again, it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of you and your time and your day and your emotions, to give to somebody. And sometimes it's just like I got to get up and go to work, so I don't have time to be upset about something and I can't, interact with my people, my clients. Or I can't be the best me because you did something that, I mean, common sense type stuff on top of that, like you want it to be treated a certain way, but you don't want to give that treatment. So, I mean, as far as you just have ones that just, they're not themselves. I don't see any, everybody want to show their good side. They never want to show like, they
That's
don't want to
true.
show like, let me see your flaws. Like that's the shit that attract me. Like, nigga, let me see that. Let's talk about that. Like, let's get this shit out the way right now, especially while we in it early. Like, so we can understand each other. But no, that's why I say no. I don't date. We kick it. We gonna meet up. I don't need you that way. You don't have to be trying to, you don't have to open the door if this is not what you do, sir. I be relaxed. Show me who you are. So you don't have people who do that. But a lot of people intentions are not pure either. It's always something they want, and yeah, and I'm just not gonna go through guy after guy to figure that out. Again, whoever for me, he gonna know how to deal with me. He gonna be here for me. Like, and I'm a person. I like simple things. You don't find simple guys out here anymore. Like if something going on with my car situation and I can't count on you to come down, nigga, what I need you for? Like, what
Right.
what I need you for? Like,
Right.
so, yeah, I don't even. When I'm done with you, I'm done. Block on all everything. Like no going back. I'm done. Like yeah, I just my time is valuable. And yeah, we're not gonna do that. So I didn't. Like I said, that's already been a portion of my life. I feel like I done already gave that, invested that a portion in my life, and that's just not my priority anymore. And any guy who
Mhm.
is for me, he gonna understand my priorities and he gonna fall in line with them. But shit, it's not gonna be every guy, so I'm not gonna keep going with every guy to figure that out. It's gonna be that one guy, and he gonna know, I'm gonna know, and that shit gonna flow. So yeah, but yeah,
Love
girl.
that.
So
I love that. No, so like about 2 years ago, damn, it's been time has passed so much, but I was, in a relationship with someone that I thought I was gonna be with for a long time, but every now and then it'll get kind of violent,
mhm.
domestic violence would take place, and that's when I felt like I can go to your house and like just hide and get my mind right. And for some reason, I just always felt like I could just be vulnerable with you and you wouldn't judge me and you would give
Mm-mm.
me advice. What do you think? um what experience do you think you've had that help women like me feel open and comfortable enough to like be that way with you?
Shit, because I've been there and done that, and I don't think So to me, and we can sit up here and judge one person. That could be you the next day. We can, we can't. Again, I feel like you don't know how somebody grow up. You don't know what's in their shoes, and even when you would talk to me, like I have learned to. It's not for me to tell somebody to leave somebody, regardless of what that might look like. That's not for me to tell them. And I also think everybody has a toxic relationship. Everybody should. I had one too. I'm glad I had mine early years. But you have to go through that toxic shit because you have to understand your value, like the core of your value. So even when like you would talk to me, like I'm here to listen. I understand. I've been there and done that. It's not for me to compare my situation to yours. I just know that talking to you, I knew what your situation felt like. I felt it because I've been there and done that. it's no point to judge nobody because this is life. We all go through it, So, no, I mean, once you made that step, like, when somebody done, like, it's no light switch where you can say, oh, okay, I'm done with this person. You can't turn love on and off. You just can't do that. So once you got done and you came to it, that's what it was. You don't need people around you who go tell you what you should do, what you need to do when it's not them that have to do it. So, yeah, no, and look at you now. Like, I'm just saying, like, like, look at the outcome. Like, look how that pain just turned into gain. And that's one thing I recognize. Like, when I'm in pain, the shit don't feel right, but I know that something going to come out of it. I'm not going to just go through no heartbreak or no heartache just to repeat the same mistake. Like, we just not going to do that. So, shit.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is real. And I felt that. I felt like I could just be, and I felt like, why hide it? She's not going to judge me,
At
So I,
all. At all.
yep.
At all.
And I really,
Nobody. It's not for me to judge nobody. Shit, I'm not gonna,
nobody,
that's not my position to play. So
yeah. I love that. And I'm so glad that you're like that. And I had women like you around me to protect me. What were the biggest lessons in love that you learned?
the biggest lessons in love. First of all, your happiness is important. And I just
Hmm.
feel like I don't care if that means you've been happy without that person. Um, you have to value yourself. Like, if you don't value yourself in a relationship, then you're never going to attract the relationship that you deserve. Like, it's like you're settling for less with your happiness. And again, life is short. I want to for real see, what that feel like. Um, as far as in developing a friendship, I think so many relationships are just off of anything but a friendship, and like, again, that's why I said I want to let me know your flaws. Let's talk about that attracts me. Like, let's get it out the way, so that way, not because I want, that's a really topic of conversation, but because I want to understand you. Also, I feel like, people, they come into and they try to jump in the next relationship, but they try to love you like they love the last person. You can't do that. You can't come and love me like you love the last person. Like, this a whole new bandwagon. Like, learn me. Take the time and learn me. And to me, I think a lot of people, it goes over their head to how people really are. Like, you can really, if you really pay attention to people and you talk, like, for real, talk to people and ask questions, like, you get a glimpse of for who someone is, and not because of their answer, but because you get to see, okay, their answer, do it align with their actions. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think people just want to jump into stuff for the sake of, and I'm just not playing with my peace or my happiness like that. I think once people find peace, then I'm not. That's valuable to me now. Like, that's very valuable to me. So, yeah, my happiness is important. I thrive off happiness. Like, I'm a better person when I'm happy. Like, I don't want to be. I don't. Yeah, the fussing, the fighting, the insecurities, all of that. I don't want to have to deal with that. When you get me, I want to be a happy person, and my goal is to make you happy. And I
I
want the
love
same
that.
thing. So therefore, it ain't gonna be easy, but it's worth it. So,
Yeah. And what would you say your ultimate goal is before leaving this earth? What do you want to get done before you leave?
ooh. I definitely want to leave a legacy. Not just for, my child, but again, I want to set the tone for people to know, like, we have everything in us to be powerful. We have everything in us to have what we desire, but again, it has to be a purpose behind it. My vision now, as far as in my life, like, I want to be successful. Yeah, I'm going to make millions and billions. I'm going to do that, but it's not for show. It's not for tell. I more so want to be an investor in our people. Like, I know so many people who have great talents, who great minds, and just do great things, but they clocking in every day. They clock
Right.
into somebody else stuff every day. So I want to be that investor. Like, hey, let me pull you. Let me get you. You start your own business. Let's start our own, own firm. Let's start our own financial firm, like everything. Let's get our own kids in our own school to learn what we really need to learn about our culture because they keep taking it out year after year. I
Yeah.
want to invest in those type of things that's gonna help us, and I also want to build leaders. I want to build other people. I don't want you to feel like you have to clock into me. I want you to be a leader, and I want you to build more leaders. I want selfless people, who really care about the world and what we have to offer the world, and what we can create from each other. So that I just want to be an investor for and just create our own. So if that means me being the one to invest in it, that's what my legacy looks like. So
You know what though? You said that, and I just thought about it. We're only going to get a few revolutionaries in each generation.
mhm.
So if you recognize that you are that revolutionary for your family, don't run from it. Accept the challenge,
I'm gonna
and
be
make it
honest
happen.
with you. I'm not. It go deeper than family. I'm not.
Mm,
It's so much deeper than family. Like, yeah, I would love to help family, but again, I'm here to help people who want to help themselves because that's the only way the job is gonna get done. So
yeah,
I want somebody to be as passionate as I am about our people and creating things for our people and setting a tone for our people, then I am. And if that's not family, that's okay, you know.
yep,
But it's not. It's so much deeper and further than that. So much deeper.
yep. And we all connected. We're all connected to each other as Black people, as human beings. So, it's going to make us all great in the
Yeah, because
end.
I'm pulling you too. Yeah, you coming too. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Exactly. You made your mark. Look, you made your mark on me, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a young woman, without you probably even fully being consciously doing it, you're just being yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and it changed my life, and it made me feel safe as a young
Mm-hmm.
woman. So it doesn't have to always be family, like you said. You're
Mm-hmm.
right. What would you tell the younger Erica with the wisdom you have now? What would you tell her?
Ooh, ooh. Girl, girl, girl. Anything is possible. Like, um, if you care what people think, it will hold you back. That's the don't care what people think. Always be happy for people. I tell her keep going. Like it's just because you dream and fantasize about it, don't mean you can't have it. And regardless of your circumstances, you go have it. So yeah, that's what I tell her.
That's
Mm-hmm.
real. That's very important. I've struggled with that a lot. Always wanted to be seen as, this perfect, this,
Mm-hmm.
young woman. It's like, nah, forget that. I'm
Yeah, be
human.
you. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know everything. And I really want to talk about just real quick, just the how much not having a mother there really affects you as a
Oh,
young woman. Like,
girl, like
does.
it still affect me. Like, I'm saying that I have been dealing with abandonment issues. They're not as bad, but I had to look at that like, dang, and it's not from a God, not like, but it was more so I didn't have that mother there, and I didn't know how much that affected me. And it's like you try to put those feelings to the back, like, oh, that's nothing, that's that's her, but in hindsight, it really did, again, like it probably me showing my vulnerable side.
Man,
Yeah, that's a
really,
challenge for me, and it's because of that. It's because I didn't have that mother that I can open up and talk to, and yeah, that definitely. So that's something I'm probably still working with. I kind of see
yeah.
it sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think about Keisha Cole. I don't know if you know about Keisha Cole's story, but she
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of, you and like her mother. Her mother died doing the same drug
Mm-hmm.
that she she had all these kids and they was everywhere, and Keisha Cole was like, trying to be there for her, but that was her mother's life and that was her mother's story. And I think yeah, like you said, in relationships I've struggled the most. The older I get as a woman, when I date men that are very masculine too,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going for that. You're not opening up with your feelings. Why do I need to be with you then? If you don't want to do this, then why am I with you? We can't have two men in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And I've had to tell men like, you don't know what it's like to like want that,
Mhm.
to want that mommy,
Mhm.
but mommy was too preoccupied with drugs or
Mhm.
alcohol, men or
Mhm.
sex. You know, like that really hurts you a lot when
Mhm.
mommy's supposed to be the one to like give you that affection. And then I think
Mhm.
being raised by men, like it's helped us. Like obviously you're bold and you're passionate, you're thriving in your career. Same with me. Like, but on the love end, like we're very like, yeah, you're not gonna get through this. You're not gonna
Yeah.
fuck with me.
Yep. 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 And I think and it's crazy because I think again that's why it's just like it's gonna have to take that special something. That's why you're going to have to understand me. Like we don't know what that looked like. We don't know what it looked like to be soft. We don't know what it looked like to, be the woman in a relationship. Like we don't know what that looked like. We had to kind of catch what we did see, and probably what we did see when what we should have been seeing at our age. So it's a process that we have to go through, and it's probably gonna be for a forever process. So that's why understanding me and knowing how to deal with us when we get to that level is important. That's why nigga get to know me, like for real, get to know me,
No,
like hey, shoot.
man, for real, you'll be here talking about what's wrong with me. Well, understand me.
Exactly, get to know
I
me
love that.
because yeah, then you would know, and to me I feel like we have the most love to give. Like we ready to release some love. Like I'm ready to be that woman. I want to see what it be like. I'm ready to do that. Like, but my nigga, you gonna have to earn that. Like you're gonna have to earn that. Like that's just how much I'm ready to give. That's how much I'm ready to bring to the table. Like I'm ready to let it all hang out. But
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So
No, I get you. So, what would you tell for the young women like us, with the wisdom we have, with the wisdom you have? What would you tell young women like Erica and Kamerie who don't have mommy there, who need that guidance? They don't know what to do.
whew, but that's really kind of hard. Whew. That's really kind of hard to be honest with you because again, even to this day, I don't think I can still fully understand um or try to process the things that I've dealt with from my mother. It's like I think I'm still that journey for me is still open. So that's why I said I am hoping that we had that conversation, but it's hard. I mean, it's hard. I don't know any nice advice to give to that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
What have you done? I mean, we talked a bit about it. What have you done? What did you tell yourself to keep going? Like, why didn't you get into drugs really bad and just fall off, or become an alcoholic, or go be with some pimper, go be under a guy to save you? You
Well,
know,
I will
you
say
didn't do.
this, like, although my mom was into drugs, I barely seen my mom, but I didn't see her bring men in and out the house. So I didn't pick up that. So, I wasn't used to toxic and fighting. I never seen that. So I knew that's something I already knew I'm not putting up with that. That's gonna be a no. So although my mom was on drugs, I didn't see man come in and out. Shit, I didn't see her come in and out. So I didn't pick that up. But as far as in the yeah, as far as in the yeah, her yeah. Now I did see the drugs, so I kind of knew what that was early on. Um, I actually found out one day, me and this girl was climbing a tree. My mom went to some lady house, and me and her was sitting in the tree, and then she goes sing that song. So I'm like, yo, mama on crack rock. And so I got to thinking, like, I didn't say nothing at the time, but I'm like, your mama is too, because they both been now doing it together. And that's how I found out what
Right.
it was, that she was doing. So I never. That's what I just knew from mama. Like I never was able to. Yeah, that's all I knew from her. That's what I seen. So that's how I found out about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know a lot of decisions she made or a lot of things she did was because of the drugs. So in
Mhm.
forgiving her, I had to understand that again, under the influence. Like I seen my mom sober and she's great. So I just knew that's not something, that's not the type of mother I wanted to be. So I try hard not to be like my mama, but like I said, I definitely see some ways and traits of my mama within me. So
And we can't escape
yeah.
it. I think when we realize that they're better than us, like it ain't going nowhere. We got to go through it and stop running from it. That's when we really get that power that we've been looking
Yeah.
for. That because we're looking for something. They were looking for God or
Mm-hmm.
something, and all these drugs,
Mm-hmm.
distractions for something. You see them with kids initially, but I think that we have to be those things. And sometimes I had a pastor tell me this. He said, "You looking at your family to be your Lord and Savior, but you might be that for
Mm-hmm.
them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you might be that for them. So stand up in it and be
Mm-hmm.
that. You know, and stop looking around for other people. God chose you for a
Mm-hmm.
reason. That understanding, that awareness you have, it ain't for
Mm-hmm.
nothing. You
Yeah.
know, everything we have." And I was like, damn, like it made me sad, but it's like you're right. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I feel honored to be this strong and this resilient,
Mm-hmm.
despite everything we've been through. Can't nobody come up in here break us. No man, no
Exactly.
woman, no nothing.
Right. Right. But even
Yeah. But last go ahead.
what you say?
No, nothing. Go
Okay.
ahead.
No, I was just listening to you talk, but no, that is true. Like, I think when we think about it, we feel like it's a heavy burden to carry or a heavy, but the outcome, it's the outcome. And to me,
Mhm.
again, like we weren't given this task for nothing. It's because we hold what we
Right.
need to do what we got to do. So and
Mhm.
I also feel like because I'm big on the environment, I feel like my daddy wouldn't have raised me and got me when he did. Then I think I would have been drug, jail. I would have followed in the same footsteps. So again, like
Mhm.
I'm not far from being what anybody else being. All it is a decision and a choice that you have to make, and just things that I've been through in my life is why. And to me, like I try anything, but I also, and not only that, I learn from my mistakes. I don't put myself in situations or try not to repeat, the same things, but it just really come down to that. But when, drugs is what's a part of your life, your thinking process is not like that. And,
Mhm.
so yeah, I don't know what it is that my mom deal with. I don't know as far because I don't know. I'm not here to judge her, but I could just say that even she's a major part of my story and where I'm at. As far as in
Mhm.
because I want to be better or I want to show that we can have better, so
Mhm.
in hopes that when we make it, then me and my mom can definitely I can help her and we can help be the bond, create the bond that I do want, between us.
Yeah, I love that, and I pray that that does
Thank
happen.
you.
You know, when the time is right for your mother, for you. Y'all both deserve to be free and at peace. You know, yeah, for sure. I know how much I appreciate it. Last question, Erica, because you've been so open
Mm-hmm.
and giving with this interview. What are you taking into 2023 with you, and what are you leaving behind?
Oh, 2023. Put my feet on the gas. I'm definitely, again, I have a goal. It's something I want, and I'm here for a reason. I'm just here to take it. So I'm just living life again. Fear is gone. So whatever that looks like for me, like I'm just nothing is stopping me. Like I'm breaking out to be the person that I should be. So yeah, I mean it's definitely a mystery. I would hate to plan it because shit just never go as planned. But I just know I'm in my season to where I'm kind of in the selfish season to where it's kind of about me. I feel like you do so much for other people and pour into them, and even guys, niggas, like you get to thinking like, damn, if I gave myself that much energy, where would I be at? So
Yep.
that's what I'm doing. Like I'm pouring into myself. I'm thinking about myself and because I want better for myself. You know what I'm saying? So um I definitely understand my value, and I'm not accepting anything less than that. So my career is that's my focus. That's my path I'm on.